Welcome back to the Horror Movie Files. Today's topic will be the revised file of the underrated and often overlooked Australian horror, Body Melt. But before we continue, a word from our sponsors, the Patreon. Geeks and Gnomes has a wide array of content, including written stories, videos, shorts, and digital art. Of course, this includes the SCP Horror Movie Files, which helped start this YouTube channel, but I'd also like to advertise my more original and ambitious project in development, which I call Endless Conflict. Supporting the Patreon is the best way to get access to new content ahead of time, and though I take suggestions anywhere, requests made by patrons are always given first and fast priority. Though of course, there is a 7-day free trial in case you change your mind later, so there's no need to worry if it turns out you don't like our content. Now back to the file. This video will contain images and descriptions of body horror, body dysmorphia, mutilated and melting bodies, blood, gore, and all sorts of disgusting violence. If none of that bothers you, then let's begin with SCP-AAL. SCP-AAL, Codename Body Melting Vitamins. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. All samples of SCP-AAL are kept in 20 separate biohazard capsules, all locked away within a metal containment crate and stored in the Biohazard Storage Unit of Site-AA. Any testing regarding SCP-AAL must be approved by at least one Level 3 Foundation staff member or higher. Under no circumstances is SCP-AAL even modified, and tested versions are to be used for medical purposes. Additionally, all D-Class used in SCP-AAL testing are to be terminated once concluded, even in successful applications. Anyone who ignores either protocol of the containment procedures will be terminated with extreme prejudice. There will be no exceptions. Description: SCP-AAL is an artificially engineered single-celled mutagenic bacteria that, for whatever reason, was created, mass-produced, and advertised as a miracle health supplement. Upon the day of its completion, SCP-AAL was to be made public with its purpose to unlock the limits of both physical and mental health of the body, essentially making the host stronger, faster, smarter, and overall better than ever before. To help present itself as a proper product, SCP-AAL was condensed into a medical pill for easy consumption of all future customers. Theoretically, it is possible for SCP-AAL to alter the body of its host to make them better than the average human in physical and mental health. But currently, the problem with SCP-AAL is that it doesn't just reach those limits, but breaks past them and never stops, leading to horrific results. First known symptoms of infection are headaches, followed by intense hallucinations that get increasingly worse as time goes on. Though testing has shown that if SCP-AAL is only taken once, it is possible that the symptoms will eventually subside and the bacteria will naturally die within the host. For those unfortunate 25% that aren't so lucky, or those that ingest large amounts of SCP-AAL, not only will the symptoms get worse, but there is a high chance mutations will occur. These mutations can vary between individuals, but the main two symptoms are degradation of the body, which includes instant rotting of the skin, deterioration of organs, as well as compulsive bleeding and mucus production. Then there are the overmutation symptoms, where smaller parts of the body such as the eyes, tongue, or genitals grow to uncontrollable sizes and sometimes explode. Muscle spasms are a regular occurrence, as well as combustion of internal organs such as the heart, stomach, or even the brain. Testing and field reports have confirmed that infection of SCP-AAL during pregnancy can result in much more grotesque and horrific results. Testing has also shown that on rare occurrences, body parts falling off and becoming sentient, acting as parasites that try to find a host and enter them by any means possible to spread infection of SCP-AAL. Thankfully, symptoms of overmutation are rare, the creation of a parasitic organism are even rarer, and testing has proven that an outbreak of SCP-AAL is impossible, as anyone already infected only has a 5% chance of infecting those they have direct contact with, and that number goes down as the infection spreads, if it ever gets the chance to. SCP-AL was discovered in 1993 by the Australian branch of the Foundation, where it was created by a small company called Vionville to be the ultimate dietary and health supplement. Hence why SCP-AL was distributed in the form of pills, though it was never publicly disclosed as a bacteria, instead presented as an advanced vitamin. Furthermore, the company conducted suspicious and illegal practices, such as selecting random people to be given SCP-AL to be used as test subjects for the final product, as well as inviting families to an abandoned facility disguised as a resort area where they were given SCP-AL within their food, without them knowing. Naturally, this resulted in a disaster each and every time, with the absolute death and disgusting annihilation of both the unfortunate civilians used as test subjects and the employees who foolishly used it thinking it was safe after previous applications proved somewhat effective. Though the local police discovered the incident as well, by that time, the issue was already over and done with, and SCP-AL was already being contained by the Foundation. Afterwards, the only thing left to do was for Foundation agents to give Class G amnestics to all police who witnessed the horrors firsthand, and alter the files regarding the incident. It was kept in that Vionville was responsible, but the facts of how everyone died were altered to say that they were poisoned, and that the reason there were no bodies is that Vionville illegally confiscated all bodies and burned them, in a failed attempt to cover up the incident. The Foundation collected the bodies that were somewhat stable for testing purposes and disposed of the rest with necrosis venom to ensure complete annihilation of all flesh infected with SCP-AL. As for the rest of SCP-AL that is now in Foundation containment, the O5 Council originally ordered to have it experimented with in hopes of actually granting it what it originally promised, that being the apex of health in body and mind. However, the Ethics Committee has ruled that SCP-AL is not only too unstable, but even if it is ever proven successful, it should only be used sparingly. Even as Foundation science has improved over the years, the Ethics Committee have not yielded in their strict distribution protocols of even proven safe versions of SCP-AL medication. It is believed their fear stems from the idea that the Foundationists will try to use SCP-AL to help build an army strong enough to kick off a UK-class Foundation domination scenario. Though the real issue is that there are samples of SCP-AL that managed to get into the market despite not being approved for such distribution. As a result, not only have there been random deaths by unfortunate civilians, but there are also confirmed samples collected by groups of interest, the Sarkic Cults, Marshall Carter and Dark Limited, Mana Charitable Foundation, as well as Griesberger Incorporated. Efforts to contain their own versions of SCP-AL or even find out their long-term plans with the anomaly are ongoing. And that was the revised file of SCP-AL. Thank you to everyone for watching this video to the end. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, but don't forget to leave a like on the video and comment down below what you thought. As I always say, all criticism is helpful to creators, so please don't hold back on your opinions. Also, please be sure to check the links in the description below, so you can follow me on all my social media outlets to stay up to date with all my content. There you can also find the Wiki page for the SCP horror movie files, which is the best place to find all related content, so please be sure to check that out. And finally, a very special thank you to all my patrons who support me in doing what I love. If you want to be like them and have the same perks they do, then please subscribe today and get access to content early, as well as updates on my content you can't find anywhere else. Thank you all again for watching, and hope you'll stick with the channel, as there's always more to come. This is a mandatory reminder to take your vitamins daily, and only in the amount the instructions say. But also, please be sure to check the ingredients of your vitamins.